Hi there, I'm Aman and you're watching PTO classes. So, in this video, we are going to study grade ninth English Moments, chapter number 3rd, Iswaran the Storyteller. So, this is the third chapter from your Moments, the supplementary book, and we are going to study this chapter in detail. I have divided the chapter in two parts, the story in two parts, so that you can easily understand and do the question answers of the related parts simultaneously, and we will do the word meanings also. So let me just give you a brief background about what the story is and what is the main concept of the story, what is the theme of the story. So as you can see from the title, Iswaran the Storyteller. So this story is about a man named Iswaran who is a storyteller. So who is a storyteller? A storyteller is a person who has the habit of telling or weaving a lot of stories. Sometimes these stories are factual, and sometimes these are based on mere imaginations. So in our chapter also, the person naming Ishwaran is a storyteller, and he tells a story to his uh, uh, to his uh, to his boss, for whom he works, whose name is Mahendra, and Mahendra tells this story further to his uh, colleague Ganesh. So we will see that what story Ishwaran tells, and is that story true or just Ishwaran's imagination. So you will see in the story that what story does Ishwaran tells and whether it is real or not. And it is a very funny story, it is a very interesting story. The chapter itself is very interesting. The anecdotes, the short stories told by Ishwaran to Mahendra are very interesting. Sometimes it feels that he is exaggerating the things and he is making up things, but the stories are very interesting, and it will make you believe that the stories are real. Ishwaran will make you believe that, and we will see that whether or not Mahendra finds out about the truth behind the stories. So it is a very interesting story, and let's just start your chapter. So the story was narrated to Ganesh by a young man, Mahendra, by name. So the story that is there in the chapter is narrated to Ganesh, is told to Ganesh by a young man whose name was Mahendra. So we have by far two characters, Ganesh and Mahendra. Ganesh is the person to whom are one of the main character of the story. Mahendra is telling the story. Don't get confused. We just have to deal with two main characters, Ishwaran and Mahendra. Ganesh is a person to whom Mahendra is narrating the story, and this story has been told to Mahendra by Ishwaran. He was a junior supervisor in a firm which offered on hire supervisors at various types of construction sites, such as factories, bridges, dams, and so on. So what work Mahendra does? He is a junior supervisor in a firm. Firm is a company, company which offers something. So in a firm, he is working as a junior supervisor in a firm which offers on hire supervisors at various types of construction sites. So the company to which Mahindra is associated does the work of providing supervisors, and he is the supervisor in that company, and he goes as a supervisor from his company to different sites like construction sites, the dams, the bridges, the factories, etc. Mahindra's job was to keep an eye on the activities at the work site. So what is the work of a supervisor? To do supervision. Vision means to look, and supervision means to supervise something, to look after all the activities happening around you. So he used to supervise at the site. He had to keep moving from place to place every now and then as ordered by his head office. So his work need him to move around the country. He used to move, he used to travel a lot, and his work keeps on changing. He is a supervisor, so he can be one time at a construction site, at a factory. One time he can be near the bridge making, where bridge is being made, near the road construction site. So from coal mining to other areas like railway bridge construction site, from there after a few months to a chemical plant which was coming up somewhere. So he used to do the work of supervision at different sites, and he used to move from one site to the other. Here the meaning of supervisor is written. You have to do all the word meanings in your notebooks, and I will provide you the word meanings through PDF also. He was a bachelor, his needs were simple, and he was able to adjust himself to all kinds of conditions, whether it was ill-equipped circuit house or a makeshift canvas tent in the middle of a stone quarry. But one asset he had was his cook, Ishwaran. So see, he was a bachelor, he was not married, he didn't have any family around himself, and his needs were very simple. He was able to adjust himself in all kinds of conditions, so he was suited to the job that requires him to travel. So he used to adjust himself in every situation. The only thing, the asset is an important is a valuable thing that you have. Asset is the valuable thing. So his only valuable thing, the thing that he used to go with to different sites, was his cook. His name was Ishwaran. So Ishwaran is the second protagonist of our story, the main character of our story, Ishwaran. First one was Mahendra. The cook was quite attached to Mahendra and followed him uncomplainingly wherever he was posted. So his cook Ishwaran was very committed to his job. He used to go wherever Mahendra used to go. He cooked for Mahendra, washed his clothes, and chatted away with his master at night. So a number of duties Ishwaran used to perform other than cooking, that he used to wash the dishes, wash Mahendra's clothes, and he used to chat with his master during night. As Ishwaran was a storyteller, he liked to tell a lot of stories, so he used to like chatting a lot, and he used to do the same during the night with his master Mahendra. He could weave out endless stories and anecdotes. What is anecdotes? Anecdotes are small short stories. In Hindi we say latife. The stories we tell to people, the short stories about varied subjects, about various subjects. Ishwaran also had an amazing capacity to produce vegetables and cooking ingredients seemingly out of nowhere in the middle of a desolate means isolated landscape with no shops visible or for miles around. So one quality Ishwaran had was that he used to produce the ingredients, the substances, the materials required for cooking or other stuff seemingly out of nowhere. Maybe there were no shops around them, but still Ishwaran would come up with the things that were required for doing the activities, doing the cooking and other stuff. He would miraculously conjure up the most delicious dishes. Conjure up means to make delicious dishes with fresh vegetables within an hour of arriving at the zinc sheet shelter. Zinc sheet shelter means the temporary house that you make. The sheets that we have, we call in Hindi tirpal. So we put the zinc sheets, the metal sheets over the kacha houses, and he used to get with the delicious recipes within an hour out of nowhere. So this was a was a good thing about Mahendra, and this was a strange thing also, that how he used to come up with such great recipes within an hour. So, few words that were difficult in the passage. Bachelor, a person who is unmarried. Makeshift, temporary. Asset, advantage. Anecdote, as I have told you, a short amusing story based on real incidents or persons. So my Ishwaran used to tell his stories, that he used to tell that these are real, these things have happened with me or the people that I know. So these are the few important words of the passages. Now see, Mahendra washed his clothes and chatted away with his master at night. He could weave out endless stories, as we have seen. He also had the amazing capacity to produce vegetables and bring out different ingredients. Now see, Mahendra would be up early in the morning and leave for work after breakfast. So what was Mahendra's schedule for work? He used to be early in the morning, he used to wake up early, and he used to leave after the breakfast, carrying some prepared food item with him. So whatever Ishwaran used to pack for Mahendra as tiffin, he used to carry that for the lunch, and he used to take his breakfast and move for his job after waking up early in the morning. Meanwhile, after Mahendra's departure, what Ishwaran used to do? Meanwhile, Ishwaran would tidy up the shed. He used to clean the shed, he used to wash the clothes, and have a leisurely bath. He used to take bath and pouring several buckets of water over his head, muttering a prayer all the while. So he was a spiritual person, he was a religious person. After Mahendra's departure for his work, he used to do all the cleaning and other stuff. He used to clean up the shed, he used to wash the clothes, and he used to take a bath, pouring several buckets of water. He used to recite a prayer afterwards, while bathing, and he was a very hygienic person. As you can see, that he used to pour several buckets of water over his head. After eating, he would read for a while before dozing off. So he used to read a lot, as he was a storyteller. So the one who can communicate very well, one who can come up with many stories or anecdotes, one who can create a lot of imaginative stuff, has always the one peculiar thing about him, that he or she has the habit of reading. If you will read well, then you will write or talk well. So he would read for a while before dozing off, before sleeping, before taking his afternoon nap. The book was usually some popular Tamil thriller running to hundreds of pages. So he used to read in Tamil. This story is based on Tamil Nadu. The characters are of Tamil Nadu. The writer, of course, is A.K. Ramanujan of this story. Remember, one poem also we have done of A.K. Ramanujan. He has translated that thing. So do write in the comment section if you remember. So its imaginative descriptions and narrative flourishes would hold Ishwaran in thrall. So its imaginative descriptions, the stories that he used to read were almost the same genre of Tamil thrillers. So he used to write the thriller stories, and his personal taste was of that kind. He used to read the thrillers, and its imaginative descriptions, the imaginative things written in the story, and narrative flourishes means the better written articles, the better written work, the better written paragraphs of that story, he would hold Ishwaran in thrall. What does enthrall means? The state of being in someone's power. So he used to be mesmerized by the effect of that story. He used to be very thrilled while reading the stories. He used to be in awe of those stories. So see how the character of Ishwaran is. He used to read a lot, and he used to be amused by the thriller stories. Now see the few words, the difficult words. Desolate means empty or uninhabited or isolated also you can say. Conjure up means to gather or create with magic. He used to conjure up the ingredients required for cooking. Muttering means speaking in a low voice. Dozing off, falling asleep. He used to get a short nap in the afternoon after taking the lunch, of course. Narrative flourishes means detailed descriptions, the good descriptions that were there in the stories. Enthrall means in a state of being in someone's power, to be amused by the Tamil literature. Now see, his own descriptions were greatly influenced by the Tamil authors that he read. When he was narrating even the smallest of incidents, he would try to work in suspense and a surprise ending into the account. So, as he used to read a lot of Tamil thrillers. His narrating style became like that. He was a storyteller. He used to chat with his master Mahendra in the night. So his speaking style became like that. His storytelling became like that. That he used to create a lot of suspense and the element of surprise into the ending part of his stories. For example, instead of saying that he had come across an uprooted tree on the highway, instead of simply saying that he came across an uprooted tree, he would say with eyebrows suitably art means curve. uh, so he used to um, with the help of his gestures, with his hand gestures, with his head gestures, he used to make the event very thrilling. So he used to say, instead of that an uprooted tree was there on the highway, he used to say that the road was deserted and I was alone. So he used to make it very dramatic. Suddenly I spotted something that looked like an enormous bushy beast lying sprawled across the road. I was half inclined to turn and go back, but as I came closer, I saw that it was a fallen tree with its dry branches spread out. See how beautifully he is explaining a simple thing to his listeners. A simple element that was there in the story, that when he was walking through the highway, one tree was fallen down. So he used to make it very dramatic, that the road was deserted. I spotted something which looked like an enormous beast. So this was the thing about Ishwaran. Mahendra would stretch himself back in the canvas chair and listen to Ishwaran's tales uncritically. Uncritically means without criticizing his dramatism much. Uh, like Ishwaran used to hold his audience into his narration, that very greatly he is explaining little incidents. So Mahendra would just relax back into his canvas chair, and he used to, without criticizing his story, he used to listen to Ishwar. Some important words: asked means curved. Gesture means a movement of hands or head to indicate something. Deserted means empty. Enormous means huge. So these were the important words in your passage, in your paragraph. The place I come from is famous for timber. Ishwaran would begin. Ishwaran, you would begin by saying that the place from where I am coming is very famous for timber. Timber is a very important wood that has been processed for commercial purposes. There is a richly wooded forest all around. The logs are hauled onto the lorries by elephants. So he tells Mahendra that he is now telling the story to Mahendra, that the place where he belongs is famous for the timber, and the forests are very rich there. The logs are hauled onto the lorries. So this story is very um, very historic. This story is not of the present generation. It is way back into the time when there was no such vehicles, but people used to carry the lorries into the through the animals, um, in his village mostly by elephants.
South India is famous for such species. They are usually well-fed beasts. When they turn wild, even the most experienced Mahot means Mahavat, as we say in Hindi. Mahot is not able to control them. So he used to begin by saying that the place where I belong is famous for timber, and elephants used to carry the lodges on their back. And after this prologue means the beginning of any story, the beginning paragraph, the starting of the story. Ishwaran would launch into an elaborate anecdote involving an elephant. So he has given the starting, the prologue he has given. Now he will weave the story around that particular elephant. So see how the story unfolds. One day a tusker is an elephant. We call elephant tusker also because it has tusks. One day a tusker escaped from the timber yard and began to roam about, stamping on bushes, tearing up wild creepers. Creepers are the unwanted grasses around your place, and breaking branches at will. So he is telling the story about an elephant that he escaped from the timber yard, from the forest, and began to roam about, stamping on bushes, putting your feet strongly. So he used to the elephant destroyed everything around him. And sir, how an elephant behaves when it goes mad. Ishwaran tells Mahendra that what happens when an elephant turns mad. Ishwaran would get so caught up in the excitement of his own story that he would get up from the floor and jump about, stamping his feet in emulation of the mad elephant. Emulation means imitating someone. So Ishwaran, he used to get so excited in his own story that he used to do the action of elephant, that how he stamped his feet. The important words: timber means wood that has been processed for commercial purpose. Hord means transported. Prologue means introductory speech. Elaborate means detailed. Tusker an elephant. Stamping means to hit something with force. Emulation means efforts to match or surpass a person by imitation or copying. So the process of imitating something. Now move ahead. The elephant reached the outskirts of our town. So now he is continuing with his story that the elephant that was creating a lot of mess around, who used to stamp his feet with force, was the elephant reached the outskirts. Outskirts means the outer area of the town, outskirts of our town, breaking the fences down like matchsticks. So was the strength of the elephant that he broke the houses like the matchsticks. Okay, got it. So now see the story. He would continue. It came into the main road and smashed all the stalls selling fruits, mud pots, and clothes. So the elephant destructed everything according to Ishwaran. He smashed all the stalls of fruits and mud pots. People ran helter skelter. Helter skelter means finding your here and there, basically means here and there. In panic, the elephant now entered a school ground where children were playing. So the elephant eventually got inside the school where children were playing, breaking through the brick wall. So he broke the brick wall and he entered the school. All the boys ran into the classrooms and shut the doors tight. So all the boys that were studying in the school, maybe it was not a co-ed, so they shut the doors tight. The beast grunted. Grunted means the noise that elephants make, and wandered about, pulling out the football goal post, tearing down the volleyball net, kicking and flattening the drum kept for water, and uprooting the shrubs. So he destructed everything. He pulled out the football goal post. He teared down the volleyball net. He kicked the drum that was kept for water, and he uprooted the shrubs. He took all the trees around the ground. Meanwhile, all the teachers had climbed up to the terrace of the school building. So see what happened there. The teachers were so afraid that they all got to the terrace of the school building. From there, they helplessly watched the depredations of the elephant. Depredation, the destruction. There was not a soul below on the ground, so no one was on the ground. Everyone had gone up to the terrace. The streets were empty, as if the inhabitants, the people living in the area of the entire town, had suddenly disappeared. So the streets were empty and no one was on the streets. I was studying in the junior class. So now Ishwaran is telling that at that time I was in junior class and was watching the whole drama from the rooftop. So Ishwaran tells Mahendra that at the time of the destruction he was on the rooftop and he was studying in the junior class of that school. I don't know what came over me. So he is saying that I don't know what happened to me. I grabbed a cane from the hands of one of the teacher. See the words first: outskirts, outer area, helter shelter. Sorry, I've written shelter, it is skelter, helter skelter, here and there. Panic, sudden fear causing unthinkable behavior, the panic that is created in such situations. Grunted means made a loud sound. Depredations means that the attacks which are made to destroy something. So by far we have seen that what happened. All the teachers and everyone around was up onto the terrace, and Ishwaran, who was studying in junior class, who is telling the story to Mahendra, was on the rooftop and he was studying in junior class. Junior class is 6 to 8, 5th to 8 you can take. So he must be in 7th or 8th. So what happened? The streets were empty and everything was like that. And so what happened? Ishwaran is saying that I don't know what came over me suddenly. I don't know what happened, how I got the courage. I grabbed a cane from the hands of one of the teachers and ran down the stairs and into the open. So he is telling Mahendra that I became so courageous at the moment that I took the cane from one of our teacher and I went on the ground. The elephant grunted and menacingly swung a branch of a tree which it held in its trunk. It stamped its feet, kicking up a lot of mud and dust. It looked frightening. So the elephant tried to scare Ishwaran. He stamped its feet. The elephant stamped its feet, kicking up a lot of mud and dust. It looked frightening. So it was very dangerous. The elephant looked very frightening, very scary. But I moved slowly towards it. So Ishwaran is telling, but I slowly moved towards the animal, stick in my hand. People were watching the scene, hypnotized from nearby housetop. So see, it is up to you to believe or not that whether Ishwaran is telling the true story or not. But he's saying that the people were very amused by me showing such courage. The elephant looked at me red-eyed. He looked with anger, ready to rush towards me. It lifted its trunk and trumpeted loudly. So the elephant lifted its trunk and grunted towards Ishwaran. At that moment, I moved forward and mustering all my force. So at that moment, Ishwaran is saying, I moved forward and with all my courage, I whacked. Whacked means to put to hit something with force. I whacked its third toenail on the quick. Toenail, the elephant's toenail, the nail on his toe. So he whacked the cane on his third toenail. The beast looked stern for a moment, then it shivered from head to foot and collapsed. See, the dangerous animal, with a single stick, with a cane, with the hit of a cane on a stolen, it collapsed. See the story that Ishwaran is telling. So it looks very frightening, but at the same time it is very unrealistic. At this point, Ishwaran would leave the story unfinished. So at this particular point, he used to leave the story unfinished and get up mumbling, and mumbling means to murmur something. I will be back after lighting the gas and warming up the dinner. So he used to leave the story unfinished that the elephant collapsed. So he he just leave the story there, and he didn't complete the story that what happened afterwards. Was Ishwaran rewarded? Was the elephant taken away? So he just used to leave the story there, and he used to say that I have to go and warm up the dinner. Mahendra, who had been listening with rapt attention, would be left hanging. So he would be left for wanting for some more, that Ishwaran should finish the story. When he returned, Ishwaran would not pick up the thread of the story right away. So when he used to return, Ishwaran used to return, he would not pick the thread of the story right away. Means he didn't used to start from the same point. Mahendra would have to remind him that the conclusion was pending. So it happens when someone is lying. See, this is the trait of a liar, that when you are lying about something, you always are not sure about the things, because it is all crafted, it is not real. So you will have the difficulty of remembering your own lies. So Mahendra used to remind him about where he left the story. So he used to continue that, well, a veterinary doctor was summoned, the doctor who takes care of the animals, summoned to revive the animal. Ishwaran would shrug casually. 2 days later, it was led away by its mahout in the jungle. The mahavat of that elephant took the elephant 2 days later. Sorry, I'm again and again saying later. 2 days later, it was led away by its mahout to the jungle. Well, how did you manage to do it, Ishwaran? How did you bring down the beast? So the man Mahendra used to ask Ishwaran. He asked Ishwaran that how did you bring down such a big beast, such a huge beast, enormous beast? How you managed to do so? So it has something to do with the Japanese art. Ishwaran would continue that it has something to do with the Japanese art. I think so. Karate or Jujutsu, it is called. I had read about it somewhere. It temporarily paralyzes the nervous system, you see. So see, Ishwaran, who is just a cook of Mahendra, he is telling him that he knows karate. So see, so here our story commences. The first part of the story commences. By far we have seen that Ishwaran is a storyteller who works for Mahendra. Mahendra is a junior supervisor in a firm which sends supervisors to different places, like coal mines, the bridges, the construction sites, like these. And Mahendra is telling this particular story that we will see in the next part to Ganesh, the colleague of Mahendra. So Mahendra is telling the story that about Ishwaran, that how he narrates the story, how he tells the story. By far Mahendra has told Ganesh this much, that what happened one day, he told me this story about elephant. And now in the next part we will see that what happens next, what is the the second part of the story. Does Ishwaran tells something new, some more stories, and whether or not Mahendra accepts his stories. So we will meet in the next part. For now you have to do all the word meanings that I will send you. I will send you the word meanings from the next part also in the PDF. You will do the word meanings, and I will send you the questions that you have to do of this part, and I will send you just the questions. You will do the answers yourself. So thank you so much for watching the video. Hope you have understood this much. We will continue our chapter in the next part of this video. Thank you so much for watching the lecture. Like the channel, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and keep on watching the videos. Thank you so much for watching my lecture.